So we have a guy, he's originally from UK. He's a technology person. I met a lot of technology people, but this guy is really impressive because he talks about blockchain, which is the hot topic and is the future of the world. If we will not transform ourselves on blockchain, the hackers are going to take all the informations. I would love to invite Asif Sabir, CEO of My Learning Key and the Managing Director of Technology Solutions at DRE. And he's going to talk about emerging technologies that can help Africa to make a smart Africa.
Thank you, Dr. Musa. Good afternoon, everybody. Looks like I've got the graveyard shift part of the event. Hopefully, everybody's had a good lunch. I do encourage everybody getting some coffee just to get you spurred up. I'll try to keep it brief. We haven't got much time, but I don't want to bore you with too much terminology in terms of the technology, but always happy to speak to you on the side. What I would like to do is just give you a quick overview of what emerging technologies can do in Africa itself. There's a quotation that I came across while I was doing my research, which is, when you're in Africa, you're not just doing business, you're touching lives, you're basically transforming societies, and you're really creating history. Right? That's really important to understand. So in terms of technology, we know technology is a game changer. We've seen that over time. We've seen that in the 1980s when the personal computer came into the market. People thought, oh, they're going to take over the world, we're going to lose jobs. But that wasn't the case. It obviously brought new opportunities. Then you fast forward 10 years from the 80s, and in the 90s, the World Wide Web came into the market. Same here again, e-commerce is now the main source of businesses for people doing businesses online. Going forward, what do we do? There's many opportunities, especially in the African markets. We just heard earlier with the panelists, as well as discussions in the morning, that the mobile technology, how that's been embraced in the African market. Right? Basically, in terms of from 4 million to 800 million within 18 years, that was the adoption of the mobile technology. So what I'm talking about digital technology? Well, we know that digital transformation is going to create some challenges. There are going to be some opportunities as well. But what we need to figure out and understand is, how do we map those technologies with the education and the right tools that we have in place to help those technologies to move forward? Another thing I want to say is, when Africa succeeds in digital, it's not your raw materials, your gold or your copper, it's the African people. So as long as we get the African people online with the right tools and the right education, you know digital technology will take place and it will be adopted quickly, and you can make more opportunities and more business out of this. But businesses in Africa is going to be different from businesses in any other. We've heard that earlier in the panel's discussions, that doing business in Africa is going to be way different from doing business in the Western continents, right? It allows you to create new processes, new business models. Adding business technology helps you to reimagine how to do business differently. So with that, you can obviously create new ROIs, you can create new opportunities and new solutions as well. What the opportunities? Well, the opportunities are in healthcare, urbanization, and infrastructure. Today, we know that in Africa, there's a lot of opportunities in terms of infrastructure, as well as in the healthcare industry. According to one of the studies from McKinsey, by 2050, there's going to be 800 million people who are going to be migrating in and out of Africa. So with that, obviously, there's going to be many opportunities in terms of infrastructure, for real estates, healthcare, and also establishing new businesses which could be part of adopting new technology. So what are these new technologies that we're talking about? Well, according to PwC, there's 8 of them. So I'm just going to quickly go over them so you get a bit idea. Obviously, artificial intelligence, you've got robotics, You got drones. We spoke, somebody in the panel was talking about drones, how they can help to move goods in and out of the country. AR as in augmented reality, 3D printing, IoT, which is Internet of Things. All devices are connected with each other. And then obviously blockchain. Blockchain, from my perspective, I don't talk about cryptocurrencies or anything like that. I talk about it in terms of a platform which allows organizations to develop smart contracts or develop an area where you can store data which is basically immutable. For me, I would say the digital ecosystem comes into these technologies that I'm displaying. One is data, artificial intelligence, IoT, and blockchain, which is part of one ecosystem as the cloud. Basically, data, you've probably heard this in other technology events if you've attended, but data is the new oil. If you've got data, that means you can do so much with it, but obviously it needs to be filtered, it needs to be structured in such a way that you use that in a way that it's more meaningful for you. To do that, obviously you need to store it somewhere. Where do you store it today? Obviously, organizations have so much data, they can't put it in the pen drives, or they can't store it locally anymore. They have to store it somewhere centrally, which is the cloud. And with that data in there, how do you cleanse it? How do you, structure it type of thing? So again, there's tools available, but one of the main tools that people are using today is AI, right? Using algorithms which help to filter that data and make sense of it in a way that is more useful for businesses, and how you can utilize that data to make sense of it. And then IoT. IoT, again, Internet of Things. We're hearing about driverless cars. We're hearing about tools that are talking to each other. I mean, again, there's Samsung has just recently released a fridge. Basically, when you buy in goods, so you bought a pint of milk, for example, as you're taking the milk in and out of the fridge, it recognizes that, the milk is half full, I need to order a new one. It'll go on the internet, order the food for you, order the milk for you, and you've got another stock of milk in the fridge. So those are like IoT solutions where everything is connected with each other. And the main thing, like Dr. Musa mentioned, blockchain. I'm really enthusiastic about blockchain in terms of from a smart contract perspective, and how you can help supply chains, how you can help organizations create a ledger which is basically immutable and cannot be destroyed. I think one of these areas where Africa can benefit from this, especially in the land ownership. We hear a lot of stories about in Africa where there's corruption, or there's disputes about land ownerships. Just imagine, you own a piece of land, and you're part of an online ledger, and you've sold that piece of land. Now that also is going to be part of that same ledger that you were a part of the ownership. Now the new owner, he also sells that piece of land, right? So that becomes another part or another branch of that ledger itself. But the beauty of blockchain is, if you have it properly structured, that you can trace it back to the original owner, and there's no dispute, who owns the land and who paid for it and who was the ownership. So as long as this is properly designed and is properly of a proper network, blockchain can play a really good part in developing, transparency, and also it could be, especially when it's decentralized and governments aren't involved and it's managed by people in the ownership policy itself. But all of this can't happen without education, right? Education is a key to Africa's prosperity. We've seen that over time, technology has helped organizations move forward, but we need to also work on systems in the schooling systems, in the college and the university, where these emerging technologies are being taught. People are being upskilled. Just as I say there, when people are empowered, right, with the right skill set, they have the confidence to deal with the societies. They have the confidence to develop new solutions, So, and also gives them a lot of economic prosperity. So education is key, but obviously we can't do this by ourselves. We need to get organizations, private people, private organizations, governments, as well as industry professionals to come together and develop those solutions and help organizations to move forward. So Africa's got a really good opportunity where if you collaborate with somebody, where you can work with universities and colleges and industry standards, where we can help to build these new technologies. You need to find a balance, right? To introduce balance, I came another quotation: to innovate, in the education system, one must innovate through collaboration. That's quite key, right? So I'm saying, again, you've got industry professionals, you've got people who are in the Western world are developing solutions, but to do that, to bring that into a third world country or a developing country, you need collaboration. So, but innovation obviously takes time. With that, we need to help to bring that journey together and work together and serve the communities. And with that, it's short and brief. Like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time. We're more than happy to talk about emerging technologies on the side. Hopefully everybody gets an overview of what technologies can help Africa. We're a partner of Berkeley Holdings, and we're more than happy to help organizations to understand how these technologies can help Africa, or whether we can partner with anybody to bring these technologies into the country itself. Thank you very much.